A lot of you might have seen that I've done hundreds of thousands of dollars online with a small following. What a lot of you probably don't know is that I started it all from Serbia, working on an assembly line in a factory for 300 bucks a month, and I had zero skills. I had broken mindset. I had victim mentality. Basically, I was blaming everything and everyone for my situation in life. Also, as you can probably tell, English is not my native language, so another thing to keep in mind. And I went from that to crossing over $300,000 in under 3 years, leaving my job, helping a lot of my clients leave their jobs, make hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands or thousands of dollars. So I wanted to share in this video story about how all of this happened, and there are a lot of hidden lessons in this story that hopefully you can take away, learn from, apply in your own life. And also, I guess I don't view myself as a motivational speaker, but I do hope that this will inspire some of you who maybe don't have the best situation, or maybe your situation is not great, but it's probably much better than mine was, like whatever, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So maybe it will be like a permission for you to go all in and achieve some cool things. This will be totally unscripted, just my story, how it all started, how it all went, and a lot of lessons along the way. So basically, summer of 2017, I got into personal development, right? And I guess this is how it all started. Started reading books, journaling, meditating. And honestly, if it wasn't for that, I would not have been where I am today. But I don't want to focus a lot on personal development, though there will be stuff throughout lessons. But I think it's important for the context. And basically, that led me to, I think I was listening to Jim Rohn. He was one of the guys that actually got me out of the broken mindset. I guess this is your lesson number one. And basically, Jim Rohn has this quote that I really love, which is, for things to change, you need to change. For things to get better, you need to get better. And this really hit me like a ton of bricks because, as I mentioned at the start of this video, at the start of my journey, actually for the first 27 years, however old I was back then, 26, 7, years of my life, I had a victim mentality, right? Literally broken mindset. I blamed my country, my upbringing, I don't know, anything that you could blame externally, I was blaming. But I took zero accountability for my situation, and that got me where I was, like broke factory worker here in Serbia, unsatisfied with his life. And that quote, I don't know why. Obviously, there were other things influencing me. I started reading books at a time, again, meditating, all this stuff. But that influenced me to start taking more accountability and start doing what I can to change my circumstances. So, really important for the story. And that further led me to read books. And another thing that I learned from Jim Rohn, he was like, there are people that have done what you want to do, they achieved it, people that spend like 10 years learning something and they put it all in a book, and in today's age they put it in videos, podcasts, etc. So there is abundance of knowledge and you can obviously shortcut it. And he was like, whether you want better health, relationship, more money, whatever you want in life, you can find it like in, he was mostly talking books, but again, for us in this digital age, you can find them elsewhere. And I was like, I want to make money. I was stuck in a factory for 300 bucks a month, and also my parents were often unemployed at a time, so I also had to take care of them, and with 300 bucks it's difficult to take care of yourself. I started looking for additional way to make money, and I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship or making money online or affiliate marketing, but because factory job was so draining and demanding, both like time wise, energy wise, mentally, emotionally, in every sense of a way, I knew I couldn't find additional job here in Serbia, so I was like, let's take a look at online. And in September of 2017, I started the famous YouTube search, actually it was Google search, how to make money online. Maybe some of you watching this video also did that at the start of your journey. And this got me down the rabbit hole. I was like first overwhelmed with information, then I started trying some things. I tried stupid things like doing captcha and doing surveys and failing at every one of those. Luckily, looking back, luckily I was upset at the time, but a couple of months down the line I ran across this interesting business model called affiliate marketing. And it sounded interesting because the way it was explained on YouTube was like you simply take other people's products, you generate your own unique link, you put it in front of people, and you make money. And I was like, simple enough, I can do that, right? Obviously, I didn't know everything that goes into it, like the world of marketing and offer creation and landing pages and everything else, right? Again, I had zero skills, zero knowledge, and that got me down the rabbit hole. Started researching on YouTube for months. Like, I dedicated every day to watch videos, to learn, took free courses if I could find them. But as you can imagine, every rabbit hole ended up with a paid wall, meaning people were like, if you want to learn more, you need to invest. Working for $300 a month, it was really hard to invest. Like, I genuinely, it wasn't like, oh, he can make money if he wants to, but he just doesn't want to invest. Like, I genuinely didn't have money. By the way, every week I'm releasing new 1 to 2 video where I share more about how you can get more clients, more buyers online, more high quality leads, even if you have small following. So if you're enjoying these videos, make sure to subscribe, and if you enjoyed this particular one, make sure to like it to boost the algo god so more people can benefit from it. But I mentioned personal development, and here is another couple of lessons that helped me at that time. And lesson number 1 was also from Jim Rohn. He said that rich people first invest their money and then spend what is left, and broke people first spend all their money and then invest if there is something remaining, right? So that was a big mindset shift that I had. And I think another one was from Robert Kiyosaki. I don't remember the quote exactly, but it was also revolving around investing in yourself, investing in your business, right? And another one was from Robert Kiyosaki, actually, and I use this to this day. It's really important, one of the better lessons and reframes that I learned, and you probably heard it if you are in personal development or online journey, and it is to reframe, instead of I can't afford this, to how can I afford this, right? How can I can do this? How can I do this? Small change in a question changes everything. And I thought to myself, how can I afford all these courses at a time that I wanted to buy when I don't have anything after my salary? After all, it's $300 a month. And the answer for me at the time was like taking loan from the bank and investing that money. And I took my first loan, took almost $3,000, had to get back almost like 5,000 or probably more, which was like year and a half of my salary. So a lot of time for me, a lot of money for me. And it opened this window of opportunity where I started investing. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, looking back, it wasn't like all rainbows. Oh, he invested, therefore he succeeded. It was like failure after failure. And not because necessarily the things I bought were bad or not working. I think looking back, it was for multiple reasons. First, I lacked a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge that had to be filled, like that gap had to be filled. And second one was that I wasn't taking enough action, right? I was doing some things, but like really small amount. And I remember investing and not making any money, and I took a lot of time learning. I remember summer of 2018, we had this 2-week summer break. Everyone that I knew, my girlfriend, my friends, my colleagues, everyone went away, and they were like, whatever, on vacation, going somewhere, enjoying summer. I was at home with my investments, with my courses, probably looking like a lunatic to other people. And I remember learning about affiliate marketing, learning about making money, and on one side hating my life because I was like, oh my god, I wish I go vacation now. But also other part of me was like, I need to sacrifice to get what I want, which is to leave my job. And I guess this is another lesson for y'all, that sometimes, oftentimes, life will demand that you sacrifice. Imagine this, there is a price tag for anything that you want in life. And it's not that the price is like wrong or right or whatever, it's are you willing to pay for it? All of you, all of us, can probably give up a lot of things, sacrifice our short-term enjoyments and relationships to achieve something, but we're not willing to pay the price. And that's okay. But I guess the point is, if you want this thing, then either pay the price, you're willing to do it or not. And I was willing. So that's another small lesson along the way. And here's another really important lesson. So I told you I was working in a factory from 2015 to 2020, and for 5 years basically. And since I went into personal development, especially later as I was learning about making money online and affiliate marketing and all this stuff, I would wake up at 4 a.m. And this is because our shift started from 6 a.m. So I had to commute since 5:20 a.m. Now, a lot of people would wake up at 5 and just put their clothes on and go to work. I woke up 1 hour or more earlier to do my morning routines, to set up for the day, and then on the way to work, when a lot of people were sleeping because it was like 5:30 a.m., I was reading books on my phone on the PDF because I couldn't afford to buy them. And at a time, I probably looked like a crazy person to people. I'm not sleeping and I'm reading books, and everyone else around me is sleeping, and I looked like a crazy man. But this is multiple lessons for you. First, again, you need to do what is required. And for me, I had big gap in skill and knowledge. I had to do things to make it right. And another thing was that if you want to be extraordinary, if you want to be the top 1%, if you want to have what other people don't have, to quote Zig Ziglar, you need to do things that other people are not willing to do or to give up, etc. So not a lot of people are willing to learn at 5 a.m. or to wake up at 4 so that they can do their routines. Like for me, it was like journaling, meditation, sometimes workout and other stuff. And I think all of this contributed. It's really important for the story. And summer ended, still I'm not making money. I think I even refinanced my loan so that I can afford investing again. Then I had a really low point in life. Honestly, 2018 was one of the worst years of my life. Many reasons, but I'll name one. My parents had this big unpaid electricity bill at home, and it was like thousands and thousands of dollars that we obviously couldn't afford. And one day I remember I was at the factory nearing the end of my shift. It was around 1 p.m., so we were finishing at 2. And I remember getting a call from my dad, which is weird. Like, he doesn't call a lot, especially not when he knows that I'll be home in 1 or 2 hours. And I remember something's wrong. I was at first afraid that it might be something with him or my mother. And I remember picking up the phone and I was like, "What's up?" And he told me they cut off our electricity. And mind you, they did it before. So I was like, "But we'll get it back on, right?" And he was like, "No, not this time." Because they took away, I don't know how you say this on English, the thing where they measure how much you spend, like they took it away. And he was like, "Not this time." And I'm like, fuck. So I came back and all these dreams, like to make money online, etc. And I couldn't have a normal life where you have basic electricity and basic needs. And this forced me to move out of my house. And I moved in with my grandma. And it was really difficult because first I was forced, so it was difficult for me. And second, I was expecting a lot from working online. And then my dog that I had for 12 years, I think, at a time, also got sick. And all of these things compiled, and I'm not making money, and all the investments that I did went down. And I was in a really bad spot. I think for a month or 2 months, I was like just depressed. Maybe not clinically diagnosed, like the worst level, but I was pretty like down. I couldn't get myself to do the things that I was doing. I felt bad. And I think that's normal when you have such downs in life. But here's another lesson. At a time, by the way, one of the guys that actually got me into affiliate marketing, I learned from him on YouTube, was Spencer Mecham. And I wanted to promote his course. I love the guy. I love his YouTube channel. By the way, you should check it out. He is amazing. If you're into affiliate marketing, that is. And I remember he had a course that I wanted to buy. It was pretty expensive for me at the time. It was $800. And Russell Brunson, the goat of marketing, was doing this launch of a course, 10x Secrets, and he did, as he usually does, this big affiliate promotion, and Spencer wanted to compete, and he was giving crazy bonuses away. And one of the bonuses, if you buy $600 course from Russell Brunson, you get his $800 course, Affiliate Secrets. And I was like, I cannot pass up on this. I refinanced my loan again, got even further into debt. I think this was like second or third time that I refinanced my loan, got further into debt just so I could invest. And this is another lesson for you. Some people are like, yeah, I bought this or this, sometimes just one investment, sometimes more understandable, but after a couple of investments that failed, people have this sunk cost fallacy where they're like, I'm not going to invest anymore until I make money, which is pretty flawed thinking if you think about it. Like, if your skills and knowledge were sufficient right now in your current investments to help you make money, you probably would have made money. So if you're not making money, it means that there is still things lacking in your skills and knowledge. And I think this is another really important lesson for people, because I had so many conversations over the years where I had people telling me like, yeah, when I earn a bit of money, then I'll invest more. And I'm like, if you're not already earning online, you're like, you can make more offline and then invest it. But if you're expecting to earn online and you haven't for the last 3, 6, 12 months or ever, and you expect you will learn and invest that's just not gonna happen. Sorry to burst your bubble, but really important lesson. I wasn't waiting to earn more online. I got further into debt, which by the way is not financial recommendation to do, but just like something that I did. And anyways, I invested into this course, and this is also important part of the journey, but also this got me out of depression. It got me hyped again. I wanted to go through affiliate secrets. I wanted to go through 10x secrets from Russell Brunson, and I started learning again. And I remember going through Russell's course. I think this was really eye-opening for me, because up until that point I was mostly investing in affiliate stuff, and they are pretty focused on like strategy, grab the link, do this, which is 20% of the equation. What I learned over the years is that 80% are in marketing, sales, psychology, niche, avatar targeting, all these things that happen behind the scenes. And anyways, I was blown away. And this got me also more into Russell's world, which was also important for the story, because start of 2019, I didn't stop with investing. I invested into, OGs here might remember 6 years ago, One Funnel Away Challenge, OFA Challenge, back with Steve Larson, Russell Brunson, Julie Stoyan. I just realized that I'm talking to the mic that's far away, so hopefully you could hear me well, but we'll see. Anyways, back to the story. I invested into OFA. I'm all hyped. It's amazing. But really big takeaway, and this is another thing, another sub lesson. Sometimes you will invest for something, but you will get something unexpected. So for me, I think it was belief in publishing. Both Russell and Steve were hammering us in OFA Challenge about the importance of publishing, how if you publish for 1 year consistently, your life will never be the same again. And they basically sold me on the idea, like, okay, I need to publish. And I was looking at all these platforms and affiliate marketing, and I was like, it looks so saturated. But podcast was not. Like, I couldn't find, I think, any or very few affiliate podcasts. And I was like, that looks like an opportunity. I'll just start a podcast. Now, without any skills or knowledge, it took a lot of time for me to do one. Like, now I could probably launch it in a week. And back then it took me a couple of months to get everything from the setup to the software to the name to the logo to the website for show notes, like all these kind of things, to find guests, how do you edit, etc. And I think actually it took more. Like, I took OFA in February and I launched my podcast end of July, start of August. But this started a new chapter in my life, which was publishing. I went from mostly consumption mode, learning from free and paid resources, which is another big one where I see people struggle, where they feel productive because they are learning stuff, but that's not enough. Like, you need to show up, put yourself out there, publish. And yeah, anyways, started publishing, launched my podcast, didn't know what I was doing. Mind you, I got some amazing guests in the first like 4 episodes. I recorded those first 4 on the launch. And these were from number 1, Spencer Mickham, who I learned from, which I was talked about. I got a few more like 6-7 figure earners, and it was like a really big thing for me. But I had no audience. I didn't know how to launch a podcast. I had, I don't know, 2 comments on my posts when I would publish, and one of which was from my girlfriend. But I did it. I started publishing consistently, the podcast also on Facebook. And then very soon I added Instagram to the picture. And then very soon, the next month, I started YouTube as well to repurpose the podcast episodes on YouTube. And I found myself, since August, since I started publishing, working pretty much on average, I believe, 14-hour days. So 8 were in a factory, and every other moment that I had when I was awake, I tried to work. every day. Even when I had days off in a factory, I was working on a business. But it wasn't for a week or a month. I did it from August until January the next year. So I think I averaged 100-hour weeks, work weeks, without any break, not a single day. And this was insane. I remember working in a factory, finding people to interviewing them, editing it, marketing the episodes, publishing, trying to promote, sell, trying to do Halloween deal at a time, to promote ClickFunnels, trying to grow my audience, publishing on Facebook, on Instagram, all these things. I was all over the place. I don't even know how I pulled it. I remember I still joke with one of my old mentors, Jamie, where one time I interviewed him and I came back from my factory. It was like 11 p.m. my time. I worked second shift, and we scheduled the interview because he's in Australia, so Australian time, and I was dead. Imagine I worked on a business in the morning, then worked really hard work in a factory for 8 hours, came back, it was late at night, and I'm like interviewing him. And he was like, "You look like a ghost, man." And I was like, "I probably feel that way." But I guess another lesson, similar to one of the first ones, about like giving up, the desire, the commitment, putting in the effort, showing up, like all these things, I think, portrayed in that time. Now, what's interesting, what was happening in those couple of months, like I was all over the place, I was giving value, I was publishing consistently. I did all the things that people say, take action, publish, show up, give value, but I wasn't making money. I made one accidental sale end of October, and that was about it. And I got sick end of the year, go figure, August, September, October, November, December, like 5 months of every single day working 14, 15, 16 hours a day with relatively small sleep as well. And I remember getting sick and I burned down. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And this got me to question everything, because I was like, I'm doing everything people told me. I'm consistent. I take action. I show up. I give value to my audience, but I'm not making money, right? Something is off. And also at the time, symbolically, I started interviewing these like Facebook organic affiliates, Facebook organic high ticket affiliate marketers. And a lot of them were like, yeah, Facebook, sell high ticket product, make money. And it sounded interesting to me, but the problem was my belief, because I learned from Spencer, from Kiyosaki. I was in like Russell's world. A lot of people were really focused on like passive income and automation. So I was sold on, I don't know, have a YouTube channel which will bring views over the years. Then you sell software, which is low ticket, but it brings that like recurring revenue, and make passive income that way, right? Because you record a video once and you put a link, and then that video is shown for months and people pay for years, right? So I was sold on that model. And I was like, what, on Facebook I need to be active every day, and if you sell high ticket, yeah, it's more money, but then again you need to sell again and again. And I was really resisting it. But what happened, this guy, he was new at the time, and he asked me for advice. He was part of my audience, he listened to my podcast, he joined my group, and he asked me for some tips about affiliate marketing. I offered my advice, and I remember 3 weeks back, this guy making sales, right? And also important for the story, I was at that time, I took $5,500 from the bank, but it was probably around $10,000 that I had to get back. And I wasn't making money. And I remember telling to myself, okay, no more refinancing the loan. You need to first make some money before you do that. But because of what happened with this guy, I remember a couple of weeks after he asked me for advice, I saw him, he joined this high ticket affiliate program, and he made $250 pure profit in a day. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, this guy asked me for advice, and he made in one day what I made since I started working online. I'm like, something's off here. Following week, this guy made $1,000 in a day, and I'm blown away. Like, I know more than him, I've been in a game longer than him, and he makes $1,000 in a day. Like, what? And this got me to refinance my loan again, because I was forced with a decision. This was 5 years ago, it was February, and it's 27th of February right now at the time of me recording this video. And I remember I was like, okay, I need to invest. And it was $1,500, which was a lot for me at the time. and even more so because I wasn't making any money. Now, if you think rationally, I think we as entrepreneurs are not really rational, because if you were to think about it rationally, I got $5,500 in debt, actually more, because I had to pay much more back with interest. I wasn't making money, and I was forced with a decision whether to invest more or not. And like most sane people would just say, no, make some money first, see what's working. But I think we as entrepreneurs have this ability to see more opportunity rather than the problem, right? And I think I saw the potential. And anyways, I refinanced my loan again, I invested again, and this changed my life. And no, I'm not gonna sell you some course on that. In fact, that program is not even running anymore. But this was like the missing piece of the puzzle. I told you that to make money, you need to have knowledge from like 0 to 100 and skill from 0 to 100. You need to get to, let's say, 100 to start making money. And people think one course or program or coach or mentor, whatever, will get them there. But that's usually not the case. Like from every investment, you gather like some points, or however you want to call them, and maybe one course will get you 10, another 5, another 15, and what you're doing obviously also increases your knowledge and skills until you get to 100. And people flawedly think that, oh, you need one thing and you'll make it. But it was all of my investments up until that point, everything I learned, everything I did, that got me to probably 90 something, and then purchasing that program was probably the last missing 5 or 10. And also there was another thing happening, which is another lesson, and that is that I went from being on all these different platforms like Instagram, Facebook, podcast, Facebook groups. I wanted to do Pinterest and YouTube, right? Everything. And I was like, I'll just focus on Facebook because I purchased a program that teaches Facebook organic, and I'll just do that. I kept podcast for a few more months, but I was like, okay, all in on Facebook organic. And this was when I went all in. This was March of 2020, almost 5 years ago now. It took me 2.5 months, and I left my job, the dream I had since 2017, probably even earlier. But I remember, like, I made my first high ticket affiliate commission on 14th of April of 2020, and then I made another after a few weeks, and another. And this was enough for me to say, okay, I'm making more from my online business than from factory, which wasn't that difficult since I was working for $300 a month. But it was enough for me to leave my job. And if you go to my Facebook, actually, on 18th of May of 2020, I actually did a live walking towards the factory and quitting. One of the best days of my life. And even after doing over $400,000 and having, I don't know, $13,000 days, $30,000 months, $10,000 weeks, and all these crazy things that I did, and helping clients make anything from 4, 5, 6, multiple 6 figures, still the thing I'm most like proud of and hyped about was leaving my job. To this day, after almost 5 years, I shit you not. And I remember leaving my job. Now there is another full journey from 2020 to now 2025, and this video is already half an hour long, so I'm not gonna dive into that, but I will share a couple of things. So I left my job, and that year in November I had my first 5-figure profit month, which, if you do the math, it would take me 3 years of full 8-time work, 5 to 6 days per week in a factory to make that amount of money. And I made that in November, right? By July the following year, I crossed my first $100,000 with, I think, under 600 people in my Facebook group and under 3,000 people, I think, in my following on Facebook, right? A lot of crazy things happened also after that, but I wanted to share this journey and all this lesson with y'all who are still trying, who maybe want to leave your job, who maybe find these difficulties, because it's easy looking back. I had so many decisions to make. There were so many times when I wanted to quit, and again, looking in hindsight, it's, yeah, of course you made that decision, but at the time it's not apparent, right? It's only apparent when you look back at it. So if you're going through a hard time, if you wanted to give up, if you still didn't manage to make money, I think as long as you're committed, as long as you still work on your skills, on your knowledge that will help you get there, I truly believe that you can get there. Again, as someone who started off without any skills, without any knowledge, with broken mindset, with English being his second language. If I could do it, I truly believe most people can. Right? Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, I think you should check this one out. It's pretty good, pretty relevant, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.